guys, and welcome back to another Remembering Forgotten Memories episode. So this one, I'm not even sure that I know the proper name of the device in question. And I had not thought of this thing in years. Decades even. Until I was on Twitter last night, and I saw that, that Steve Burns video, you know, the viral one that is making all us 90s kids cry buckets, and I was no exception. I fucking bawled, and I did not know how badly I needed that video right that moment, but I mean, it got me right in the feels. So I was tweeting about it, and it went down a rabbit hole of other 90s nostalgia stuff, which went into different shows I watched as a kid, this, that, and the other, somehow got into the topic of the Berenstain Bears, and I don't know what triggered this memory of this thing that I had, but I was just like, I have to find even a picture of it on Google, just to even attempt to describe this thing, because basically, I mean, I think this was my sister's toy, actually. It wasn't even mine. But, essentially, it was a set that came with both a book as well as this device that went with the book. It was like part of a book system. I guess it was for kids who didn't know how to read yet, even though we totally all knew how to read really early, but that's beside the point. It was like a gift from a grandparent, so it's cool. But anyway, it kind of was like the size in roughly shape of like an old school computer mouse, complete with buttons on the top of it. And I could remember there was something in it that spun around, and you would put it on each page of the book in a designated spot, and it would read the page to you, and play the sound effects, any music that went with it, and you would do this for each page of it. It was really cool, actually, but I could not, for the life of me, find a freaking photo of the exact one I had, to the point where I'm starting to question my own reliability of memory on this one of, was it blue? I could swear the one we had was like a medium blue shade. I could not find a blue one anywhere online. I could find the book. I was able to find the book like that. That was not that hard. But all I could find were versions from like the 70s, which it was definitely not that. I'm not that old. And I found like one random 80s one, but I'm like, no, it was past that. It was newer than that. But I could not find, for the life of me, even hours and hours. I should have just given up, honestly. It's not that serious. I could not find the one that we had. The closest I found was like one video where somebody had a yellow one and they showed it in action. I only found 2 videos total of these devices on YouTube, and one of them is truly nightmare-inducing because it didn't play at the right speed and just, nope, that's just Nightmare City, no thank you. But the other one was kind of cool. They were being a little snarky with it, but I mean, the first book they tried it on was the book in question. I was like, yes! And they played like the first 2 pages of it. And I'm initially like, oh my god, are they gonna do the whole book? I was way too excited over it. And then by the second page, I was like, oh shit. Now I remember being scared of this fucking thing. Even as a little kid. Maybe this is why I couldn't find much proof of it. Maybe other kids were freaked out of them too. Maybe that's why. Fairly limited release, maybe. I don't even know. But I found like an Amazon listing for the book itself for almost $1,000. Are you fucking kidding me? And I think we tossed that one, possibly. Why is it always the toys that we did not hang on to that are the ones that are worth the buttloads of money? I don't know. But, as near as I can tell, it was a Fisher-Price device. And it was either the Fisher-Price Talk to Me reader, or it was the Fisher-Price Comes to Life. They were the same device, different releases in different decades, but the same thing, ultimately. But I don't know if it had yet another name change still in the 90s. I feel like it might have. But I also feel like I definitely vaguely remember a commercial for it in the 90s, using it on a Winnie the Pooh book. Can't find any record of that commercial online anywhere, which is weird given all the retro commercials that are on YouTube. That one is seemingly not up. Yeah, I fell down this rabbit hole so damn hard last night. And for no good reason. It's the best part. I wasted my own damn time. But I remember, being really intrigued by this thing as a little kid. But yeah, as soon as it got to, page 2 of that book, it was, Berenstain Bears and, the mysterious numbers or some shit. As soon as, they got to the mysterious numbers voice, I was like, oh shit, that sounds like a cult. No, never mind. I think I remember why I was scared of this now. But, what I did not realize until I found that one video of it playing it, apparently the narrator of that book was also the voice of Teddy Ruxpin. And I never connected those dots, even though I had a Teddy Ruxpin. I feel really slow. Maybe that voice actor just felt very strongly about narrating bear stories. Teddy Ruxpin was a bear. Berenstain Bears. I mean, I'm noticing a common thread here, but yeah, it was just so weird how I had not thought of this thing in easily 20, close to 30 years at this point. And the second I saw that little clip of it playing, I was like, oh my god, I remember the exact sound of that thing now that I hear. Wow, that was something that just got unlocked in my brain that did not even know was still in there somewhere, but apparently it is, and it's so freaking weird, but whew, yeah. I think we only had the one book for it, is the worst part. It probably wasn't even, a cheap thing, is worse. My understanding of how this device worked, now that I watch those, is that each little circle disc on each page that you would line it up with, I remember it having little ridges on them, but it didn't click in my head what that meant. Now, looking at it, it's like, oh, this was essentially a teeny tiny little record player, essentially. Oh, that's so fucking cool! That also makes sense why it would sometimes malfunction and not play right, but oh my god, that's so cool! But also definitely makes sense why they didn't exactly have a lot of longevity, probably why there's not a lot of them still around, because the needles would either get damaged or broken, or the belts would either get stretched or broken, this, that, the other. There's so many things that can go wrong on a thing like that. So, I mean, I get it. Definitely makes sense why they don't make them anymore. In this day and age, they could easily do the same thing digitally without needing to use that old clunky tech, but just, I don't know, there was something about it that was charming at the time, but then as soon as I heard that second page, whoa, yeah, no, never mind, I'm out. I'm not even sure if I ever made it through that whole book as a kid, is the best part. At least not with the reader. I think I read it, but I think the voices on it freaked me out so much. I was like, I can't with this fucking thing. I fucking can't. I think I would make it about 3 or 4 pages in and be like, I'm too creeped out. I can't do it. Even though it's not a scary story, it's just the voice they used on it was scary as shit. At least to me. And because it scared me as a little kid like that, it still somehow triggered that same response even as an adult while watching that video. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it's funny because there was another thing I almost did for this week's Remembering Forgotten Memories thing that also freaked me out as a kid, that I totally thought I would look it up on YouTube and be like, that's stupid, why did that ever scare me? Yeah, no, I think it freaks me out worse now as an adult than it did back then, but that's another story for another day. Some of you can probably totally guess what it is. I'll give a hint. It was a computer game. Any of my siblings watching this know exactly what the fuck this is, but some of you guys do too, because I feel like I've mentioned it in passing before, but oh god, fuck that game. But anyway, another episode for another day. But yeah, this isn't really going anywhere. I had that nostalgia-gasm last night and felt like, given the day of the week that it was, I was like, I guess I have my video for today all lined up. That wasn't even planning on that, but there you go. Did any of you guys own that thing? Or did you know anyone that did? Or do you remember the commercial for it? Does anyone else remember this thing at all besides me? Or am I just out on a limb here and everyone's like, you're talking crazy? I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Because asked my dad if he remembered. He's like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So, and this would have been before Kimmy's time, so I couldn't ask her. She wouldn't have known about it, but yeah, that, so. Anyway, like I said, this is going nowhere, so I'm just gonna wrap this up. So anyways, if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below, make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below, and if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, until next time.